can take all the tea in China, put it in a big brown bag for me, sail right round the 7 oceans, drop it straight into the deep blue sea. He's as sweet as Tupelo honey. He's an angel of the first degree. He's as sweet as Tupelo honey, and just like honey, baby, from the bee. You can't stop us on the road to freedom. You can't stop us 'cause our eyes can see. Men with insight, men in granite, knights in armor bent on chivalry. He's as sweet as Tupelo honey. He's an angel of the first degree. He's as sweet as Tupelo honey, just like honey, baby, from the bee. Stop us on the road to freedom. You can't stop us 'cause our eyes can see. Men with insight, men in granite, knights in armor bent on chivalry. He's as sweet as Tupelo honey. He's an angel of the first degree. He's as sweet as Tupelo honey, just like honey, baby, from the bee.
Tupelo Honey by Kerry Hodgkin. And now I'm glad to say she's on the line for us. Hello.
Hi, Chris.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
No worries. It was lovely playing your song.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
So, who are your musical influences, you would say?
Well, they're pretty eclectic, actually. I've been singing sort of jazz for sort of quite a long time, sort of 10, 15 years. And I first started listening to jazz when I was in my teens, and the first person I listened to was Billie Holiday. She influences me a lot, but I do a lot of blues and soul as well now, so I'm influenced by people like Etta James, Aretha Franklin, and then sort of more modern singers like Ian Shaw, who produced the track you just played, and did the arrangement for it as well. He's one of the UK's leading male vocalists, in fact, arguably the leading UK male vocalist, and he's a good friend and a big influence on me too.
Oh, that's good. And yeah, Billie Holiday, I mean, she's one of them great iconic singers, isn't she? I mean,
oh, absolutely.
That film, Lady Sings the Blues.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of my first introduction to her, really. And of course, that's Diana Ross playing her, who sounds nothing like her. So when you've heard Diana Ross and then you hear Billie Holiday, you think, what on earth's going on there? It's very, very different. She can be a bit of an acquired taste, Billie Holiday, but once you've got the love for Billie, it never goes away.
That's true. And you present your gigs a little differently, don't you? Do you want to tell us more about that?
Well, yeah, it's this eclecticism that I was talking about. I'm tending these days to start moving more in the direction of kind of blues and soul influenced jazz and actually straight blues. I've been fortunate enough recently to do a couple of gigs at the world famous Ronnie Scott's, singing blues there with the Ronnie Scott's Blues Experience and doing my own gig upstairs as well. But I also, I trained as an actress and specialised in musical theatre when I was younger, and I've kind of recently rediscovered that love and created an alter ego for myself called Melody La Rouge. Don't ask me where that name came from, because it's just a flash of inspiration. And with that, I'm doing a brand new cabaret show, a tribute to Kander and Ebb. And for that, my influences are people like Liza Minnelli and Chita Rivera. So it's very, very different, and it kind of, having the different name helps people who find it difficult to kind of grasp that I'm doing one thing that's very, very different to another, to not have to grasp that. I'll just, if they can't handle me being eclectic, I'll just be two different people, so they don't have to deal with it at all.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, though, because it's totally different, a different spin on a show.
Absolutely, yeah, totally.
And if you could have written one song, what would it have been?
That is, of course, a very, very tough one. I do write, and but having said that, I don't write as much as I probably would if it weren't for the great Joni Mitchell. As far as I'm concerned, anything that you could possibly want to write about, Joni has written about it first, and she's written about it better. So basically, I would have loved to have written anything at all by Joni Mitchell. But there is actually another track on my album that Tupelo Honey comes from, a track called Real Emotional Girl, which is written by Randy Newman. And when I sing that song, I get very, very emotional because I feel like it could almost have been written about me.
Goosebumps?
And I would dearly have loved to have written that song.
Yeah.
Fabulous song.
So do you get goosebumps when you sing that song?
I do, and I have to be very careful, because when you get really emotional and feel like you're about to cry, it makes your throat close up, so it makes it very difficult to sing. So I do tend to tread a fairly fine line when I perform that song. It really does bring me to the verge of tears.
Yeah, you don't want to start crying, do you, after you've sung your song?
Well, kind of not, but having said that, I've found that when I perform it, that it does have a really strong effect on audiences. And that's what performing's all about, really. So, I quite like treading that fine line.
And the emotional songs are usually the best, aren't they?
I believe so, yeah. I completely agree with that, yeah.
And can you tell us about your up-and-coming gigs?
Yeah, well, I've got a couple of really interesting things coming up. On the jazz blues side, I'm going to be performing at the Pheasantry on King's Road in London on Friday the 25th of March. I'm doing that gig with Jeanette Mason, who played piano and organ, as you just heard on Tupelo Honey, on my latest album, which is called Table in the Corner. So we'll be doing quite a few songs from that. And we're working with a fabulous bass player called Simon Little. The Pheasantry is a fabulous venue. It's part of the Pizza Express chain, and it's become one of their flagship venues for live music. And people can book tickets for that on www.pizzaexpresslive.co.uk. And then in May, hopefully quite relevant to some of your local listeners, I'm going to be performing at the Brighton Festival Fringe. I'm actually doing 2 shows there. On the 7th, 8th and 9th of May, I'm doing 2 shows each day. One is a vocal and guitar duo called Shades of Blue, doing sort of blues, soul, really rootsy stuff, some original material. And then the other one, I will be performing as my alter ego, Melody La Rouge, doing Kiss of the Red Menace, which is a tribute to Kander and Ebb. And it's all very jazz hands.
Great. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, It is. It's a project that I've been wanting to get together for quite some time, and it's coming together. I'm pretty pleased about it. And then I'm hoping to take that up to the Edinburgh Festival in the summer as well.
Yeah, you're busy, aren't you?
I kind of am, yeah, it's good. For all good reasons, though, so I can't complain.
Of course you can't. And where can people find your music?
Well, they can find my music on iTunes. My latest album, as I say, Table in the Corner, which was produced by Ian Shaw, is on iTunes. It's released on 33 Jazz Records, which is one of the sort of leading independent jazz labels. Both that and my first album, called And Everything, are available on Amazon. But there's also a fantastic website that's really, really good for British jazz releases. It can be difficult to get hold of other ways. It's called Jazz CDs, and it's at www.jazzcds.co.uk. And the advantage of that one is that when you're ordering CDs from there, you actually end up getting them directly from the artiste.
Okay.
So if people want a signed copy, they can have a signed copy. Okay.
I'll have to check that out because I love my jazz. So
Please do, yeah. There's just like, a who's who of the contemporary British jazz scene on there, and some fantastic material, very, very diverse as the world of jazz is.
yes, it is. And thanks a lot for coming on the show, Kerry.
Oh, Chris, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you. Lovely to talk to you.
No worries. See you later.
Take care. Bye-bye.